ọmọ ọkọ ní ọ̀hún ṣéun bẹ́ẹ̀ lọmọ ọkọ ṣe ìwọ lọ́pàá Gàmbàrí nípa ẹ̀sìn Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ọ̀pá Gàmbàrí nípa ẹ̀sìn ọ̀pá Fúlàní ọgbẹ́ tó ló pọ̀ ya onítọ̀ ọmọ Sunday Igboho
ń bẹ sọ̀rọ̀ lọ́wọ́ dákẹ́.
Pẹ̀lú àwọn bàbá rẹ lọ òròlú ọmọ kẹlá mo lẹ́nilé mo sùn lẹ́ẹ̀kan ọmọ ajá tó yàn jìyẹ kí sílẹ̀ àwọn bàbá rẹ mo délùú bọ́dà àárín òde wọ́n di méjì bá rẹ̀ ta àlọ́ méjì bá rẹ̀ jí àgbẹ̀dà ó di méjì bá rẹ̀ gbẹ̀dì lókun ó kan ìlà àárọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ní kókó ilé wa sàkàdà.
Sunday ooo.
Àkọ́nisọ́ lọ́kọ̀ ìní sí ìgbà lẹ́kẹ̀ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ o.
Yé.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni o Sunday Igboho sàmà tó ogun ní iná ni lókun ogun ní iná ni lókun ogun ló ní ilé àárọ̀ ogun ni wọ́n fi jagun kì. Ṣé wọ́n jẹ́ ogun wọn? Ẹjẹ́ àgbàlá wọn lóògùn náà Sunday Adéyẹmọ Igboho lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ó gbọ́ mẹ́rin dandan ní. Bàbá gbọ́ o. Ìlànà Olódùmarè ni wọ́n máa lò ọmọ Adéyẹmọ o. Dákun mọ́rin làwọn oníṣẹ́ ẹ̀tọ́ kálukú mọ̀ fi dùn wọ́n orí kálukú ló gbé ọdẹ kò tó dùn. Wọ́n á máa gbọ́ o gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tàtà ń tẹ́wá lóye ẹja fọwọ́pọ̀ ká gbé ẹni tó lúwa fi sẹ́ gbé lárugẹ gidi ni ẹ̀mí jù wọ́ wọn ò jù ẹjọ́ òrodò lọ sí ibà méjì kọ́ o ẹni tó lúwa fi sẹ́rán ọgá tó sí ẹni tó fara wọn Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ìpínlẹ̀ tiwa akọni tiwa akọni jagunjagun ọkùnrin tararara kọdọkẹlẹ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ wọn a máa gbọ́n fẹ́ sàkó àkà fún wọn ni ẹni tó bá ní kó ògùn ní kékeré fún wọn fọwọ́ àdáwọn síra wọn ní kàkọ́ máa ṣe ara rẹ̀ nípò dànù ìmọ̀jọ́ ìmọ̀tú ayóyè pọ̀ ní kó lọ́wọ́ ọmọ wa kékeré tó kékeré ìdáhọ́ ìní ọmọ gbẹ̀yìn agbẹ̀dẹ òṣèpàtàrí òní gbóró olùkọ́ tẹ̀ máa gbọ́ àwọn bàbá rẹ tó ti wà nínú pé ìdájọ́ wọn mọ̀ fọwọ́ tí ó gẹ́gẹ́ ni àwọn alágbá jagun tí wọ́n lè jagun ṣáájú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wọn mọ̀ fọwọ́ tí ó gẹ́gẹ́ ni Oòduà Ọlọ́fin Ọbàtálá Báṣọ̀run Àjàká Àjàngá Tíẹ̀lẹ̀ ẹ̀fọ́fọ̀ fẹ́rí lánàfọ́fúnlá òun náà mẹ́rù ọmọdé òun ìfọba aborílá aborí funfun alùpùpù abáàkútù ògèdèǹgbé agbógungbòrò olè jẹsà Ṣàngó. Máa gbọ́ná Sunday Adéyẹmọ o ń bọ̀ ṣàkó tí mọ́ ògùn làyà wáyé náà ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Igboho sáńpolo tí pẹ̀tù tiẹ̀ ṣe ọ̀gbárùgbó alárúgbó lọ́nù gbọ́dọ̀ rè jó ògùn làyà ọ̀sẹ̀ pààyàn kẹ́ni ẹ̀ máa ń dè bàbá rẹ lọ òun kàtàrí gbàgbà kẹ́ni ẹ̀ máa ń dè bàbá rẹ lọ alárúgbó parúmọ́ Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ní oṣù òkú òde gbangba Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ó ti dìbò kóòdù ó ti wà lókè ẹni ẹ bá ní ọjà kọ́kọ́ máa kú ni máa gbọ́ o sórí mọ́bẹ̀rù ọ̀tẹ̀mọ́ orí ni gbogbo fùlùfùlù labalábá tí wọ́n dìbò lẹ̀ Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Igboho sà orí bí wọ́n ti ń wọṣọ àkísà máa gbọ́ o yẹ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá àtàtà tó bá lóye akọ́dà ayé ọgbọ́ ọmọ Adéyẹmọ ní ẹja akọwọ́tì àti yìí débi tó lápẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹja akọ tẹ́lẹ̀ èmi ju ẹ̀wọ̀ òdù mi kò lè gbé wa dédé kankan pa akọ́dà ayé ọgbọ́ ẹja akọwọ́pọ̀ ká bí ẹni tó lùwọ́ fi sẹ́ni lárugẹ ni ẹ máa bá wọn ní bọ́ yẹn sẹ́wọ́n lọ́fọ́lá wọn ní igi igbó sórí pọ̀ wọ́n dìgbẹ́ ẹ̀rí ni àwọn àgbàlagbà wọ́n ní bí orí bá dúró tọrùn inú déyìn ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ gan ni Sunday ọmọ Adéyẹmọ yé máa bá ọjọ́ òní ọjọ́ burúkú tó lápẹ̀rẹ̀ ni ṣùgbọ́n àwọn tí wọ́n ṣerú kú ẹ̀ wọn ò lè mú jẹ́ má ṣe pé ṣùgbọ́n nu rẹ̀ ohun tó ọba tí ń pátápátá bọ̀ ìmọ́lẹ̀ thank you àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ gbogbo tó ọba tí ń àrò ọ̀rọ̀ mọ́ àwọn tó mú kọ́jọ́ òní wáyé má ṣe pé o ṣùgbọ́n má jẹnu rẹ̀ ó gbófo gbogbo tó ọba pátápátá àrò ní ọmọ àrọ̀ mọ́ orí bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n mọ fèyí ṣe lọ́lé wa kì í ṣe é mọ̀ wọ́n lè dín lẹ́rìí wípé ìtàlọ́kùnrin ìwòtọ́ lápẹ̀rẹ̀ lápẹ́jà ní tàmẹ́dọ́ ni ìmọ̀lẹ́ akéwìrè ọmọ wọn lọ́gbọ̀mọ̀ṣọ́ àjílété mọ́bólúwa mi dúpẹ́ mọ́ ẹrù àgbà.
And a very good morning and welcome, and I say good morning once again. Kí gbogbo wa pé good morning. Once again, a very good morning and welcome. 3rd day of November 2023, London. Olayomi Koiki Media, bringing the work closer to your doorstep. I want us to look at the headline and the topic for the discussion this morning. And the topic for the discussion is going to be based on the current situation, as we say all the time. We Yorubas are in full 100% support of Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, a philanthropist, a businessman, a father, an uncle, a friend, a man that loves humanity, just like the President of America is fighting for justice around the world, just like Rishi Sunak is fighting for justice around the world, just like Macron is fighting, just like any world leaders are fighting to defend territory that belongs to them against terrorists. I'm here again to present to you who Dr. Oloye Sunday Igboho is and why the Yoruba people are giving him all the support that he needs. Dr. Oloye Sunday Igboho is a Yoruba man to the core that believes that the Yoruba territory is in danger and is speaking out very well. Just like Pope is speaking out against atrocity, just like the United Nations General Assembly is also speaking out against atrocity of human rights. So when someone is asking you at any point, who is Dr. Oloye Sunday Igboho, tell them that he's also a world leader. A leader that can be compared to Brazil president, a leader that can be compared to German president, a leader that can be compared to Russia President Putin, a leader that can be compared to any leaders around the world that will not tolerate terrorists to operate on their territory. That is who Oloye Dr. Sunday Igboho is. Many of you might not know him. Many of you must have heard about him. Or many of you will have different take on who he is. But I'm here to present Oloye Igboho again to us and why he is fighting to save the Yoruba people. I welcome every one of you, but I'll give a special welcome to the Yoruba world media under the leadership of Dr. Zabi. And likewise, it takes me back to the Yoruba home-based media that are working back to back so that we can all be saved from the menace of the atrocity of the Fulani terrorists that are killing our people and also creating economy sabotage. Maybe some of you don't know that. So I will go straight and say good morning to Baba Lekiti, and also as the chairman of the Yoruba home-based media. And I say good morning to every single one of us. This presentation is going to be in English. Please, I beg you, don't tell me to speak in Yoruba. I am presenting now to the international community because Oloye Igboho is no longer a local champion as you might be thinking. Oloye Igboho is not Oloye Kutonu. He is a world leader. And sometimes we need to continue to remind international media that I am one of them, that there is something going on in Nigeria that is taking place not just in Nigeria, but in Yoruba land. Not just in Yoruba land, but also inside the Southeast. Not just in Southeast, also inside the territorial ground of the northern part of Nigeria. And what is that? It is crime against humanity. And that is what Oloye Igboho is fighting for. So if you're one of those that is against what Chief Dr. Igboho is doing. That literally says that you are also in support of terrorists. And I'm sure that world leaders around the world, wherever the world leaders are, we have about 195 countries around the world. None of them, from India up to Germany, Canada, France, up to African countries, up to Malaysia, I am not sure whether any one of them would tolerate terrorists to operate on their territory without doing anything. So the question is what Oloye Igboho doing against humanity? Is he doing the right thing? And why we must continue to give him all the support he needs? It's not just Oloye Igboho. We are also saying thank you so much to the leader of the Yoruba World Self-Determination under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye, the oracle himself, that stood his ground and said enough of the atrocity committed right under our nose by the Fulani terrorists. Also, we are saying thank you so much to Chief Banji Ayiloge and all those leaders, all those elders, all those mothers that are working to make sure that the Yoruba people are free. We are saying thank you so much to Iba Gani Adams, Logunfe, the generalismo of Yoruba land. We are saying thank you so much to Afenifere. We are saying thank you so much to all those that are standing upright towards the right rather than folding their hands and allow the Yoruba people to be massacred. We are not talking about massacre inside the bush. We are talking about massacre right inside what we call the Yoruba economy. It doesn't matter your take on whether you prefer Oloye Igboho to speak out or not. The question is, for every time terrorist is operating in Nigeria, you are likely not to be making money as Nigerians or as indigenous people, because your reason for not making it in Nigeria is because of the oppression of the terrorism. And I'll give you a quick example before we go into just a quick information that is coming from the Yoruba Central Office to remind the Yoruba people that December 2nd, we would like to meet every one of you in London, where we will be gathering under what we called Yoruba Day. I want to remind you, would you, as a Nigerian, send a logistic? Logistic business is one of the most important business around the world. Buying and selling. Every single day, every household in UK will receive at least one letter. Imagine you want to send a logistic parcel from territory of Southwest Nigeria, be it Lagos, Ogun State, be it Ondo, be it Anambra, be it Yobe, even within the territory of the North. Do you think that it is easy to send a parcel from Lagos to Sokoto? Do you think that it's going to be easy to send a parcel from Abuja back to Lagos State? We have seen atrocity of terrorists happening across Nigeria. The question is, why has the government not done enough? We know that the previous administration of the dead or alive President Muhammadu Buhari and the shortman devil, Professor Yemi Osibajo. We know that these two took the realms and affairs of Nigeria from 2015 up to the end of May this year. I want you to ask yourself whether they really did their best to stop terrorism in Nigeria, or terrorists became a norm. And I'm going to remind you quickly. Rotimi Amechi said, and I quote, "I warned Buhari that there will be an attack on the railway because we have not put what is meant to be done to secure that train attack. This took place under the nose of Buhari and Yemi Osinbajo. I'm going to remind you, this took place on the March 29. I'm going according to the Premium Times of 29th of March 2022. And Rotimi Amechi says, according to the headline here, we would have saved lives. Amechi react to attack on Kaduna born train. I'm sure some of you remember the young Dr. Chinelo. Dr. Chinelo was just a practicing doctor. She was probably going for further education or probably a new opportunity in Canada. She was just less than 48 hours to travel out of Nigeria. She got caught up. Even some of you joke on a tweet that how can you say that you have been attacked? On what train? I'm sure you all remember that tweet. The question we should then ask is, would America or United Kingdom or anywhere around the world, would they allow terrorists to continue to operate without somebody coming up to say, no, this is not going to be tolerated? That is what Oloye Igboho is fighting for. That is what Professor Banji Akintoye is fighting for. That is why the Yoruba people are in support of what Oloye Dr. Adeyemo Igboho is doing. I would like to first appreciate Oloye's family from his children that have given us their father to become the voice of we, the voiceless people. If I was the only one shouting that there is terrorists killing us inside our territory or inside Nigeria, nobody will listen to me. Nobody will be listening to what I'm going to be saying. If you are going to be the same, talking on a daily basis that we are being massacred, we are being killed by terrorists inside what we call Nigeria, no one is going to listen to you. Nobody's going to be interested in what you are saying. But somebody make it easy. Somebody stood his ground, even though we have to appreciate the wives of Dr. Oloye Sunday Igboho. Because the wives of Oloye Igboho, I can feel their pain that Oloye is out there speaking out while they are also trying their best to remain calm. It is not easy, I know, but I will say on behalf of every Yoruba sons and daughters to the family of Oloye Dr. Sunday Igboho that we say thank you so much. We appreciate you. We love the family. We will stand shoulder to shoulder with not just the family, but with all the families of those that have been killed, not just in the bush. Because many Nigerians or many Yoruba people think that the death of Yoruba people only occur inside the forest where the atrocity is taking place. But do you know that these atrocities are also taking place right inside what we call economy sabotage? Each time you wake up in Nigeria today and you are not making money, it is because the economy sabotage of the Fulanis, the northerners, that have made you to become a poorer individual. And you can go from point to point. You can see why some of them have taken the control of the CBN. You can see why this even administration is still holding Emefiele, even though we expect this administration to respect the rule of law. If Emefiele has committed a crime, take him to the court and let the court be the judge. You are not in what we call a military administration. We are now in democracy. I am not here to defend Emefiele. I expect Emefiele to defend himself, just like I expect Nnamdi Kanu to be released. Because Nnamdi Kanu is not a criminal. Nnamdi Kanu is not a criminal. So I expect Nnamdi Kanu to also be released. Just like I expect some of you that have been attacked by the EFCC. Those of you under the Obafemi Awolowo University, I saw the ISBA going into the female hostel in the northern part of Nigeria this morning. All these should not be tolerated in a society that is working. So whether you agree with Oloye Igboho or not, there is so much happening in Nigeria that I take you back again to the 29th of March 2022. We would have saved lives. Rotimi Amechi react to the attack on the Kaduna-bound train. At least 8 people, as at the time, have been confirmed killed in an attack with many other passengers still missing. I am not sure that the world leaders will sit back and allow terrorists to kidnap their citizens and then do nothing. I'm sure you all remember that America have rescued their citizens in the hands of terrorists when the federal government failed to do the needful. Every single day we are hearing somebody is being kidnapped, but we are not talking about the economic sabotage that these individuals are creating. Many Nigerians cannot travel on the rail. Many Nigerians cannot even travel on the airport tarmac because we saw the activities that took place also in Nigeria sometime last year, if I can remember, when the terrorists drove into the airport and started shooting sporadically. Do you think that the British government will sit back and allow terrorists to start operating at the very local airport called the Luton Airport? Do you think that the American government will allow terrorists to take over the airport? Why is it different in Nigeria? Why should we be the different when we say that we are being killed and it is having a big impact when it comes to economic sabotage? Because every time the Yoruba people, the Nigerians, the Igbos, the Hausas are trying to operate their businesses, there is also what we call the terrorists, the Boko Haram and the ISWAP, and many of them. The question we should ask ourselves is, how do we first define terrorism? Do we have terrorists in Nigeria? I'm sure we do. How do we deal with it? And who will give us the voice that everyone around the world will be able to know that there is terrorism happening in Nigeria? But I'm sure the international community knows that because they are giving warning every now and then. As the Christmas is approaching, many countries will start telling their citizens and Nigerians that have got dual citizenship to be careful of areas they'll be traveling to when they approach Nigeria. There is terrorists operating in Nigeria, and we can talk about it. But before we do that, let's listen to this. I'll come back. Let me get my cup of tea. That is what we love to drink in UK. If you live in UK for 25 years and you don't drink tea, then something is not right. Do as they do in Rome.
Tẹ́tà bá wọn lúrò yẹ kó mọ̀ pẹ́ dá. Torí ẹni tó bá kọ̀ tí ò dúpẹ́ orí ẹgbẹ̀fà. Irú wọn ti pẹ́ gidi náà orí ẹgbẹ̀je níjọ. Ìdí àti abárè tí àwọn Yorùbá UK Central Office parapọ̀ sàṣẹ̀rò nínú ìmọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ wọn. Tí wọ́n sì ya ọjọ́ kan àrà ọ̀tọ̀ sílẹ̀ fún ìdúpẹ́. Lórí ibi àti bẹ̀rẹ̀, ibi abadé àti ibi tá ń lọ láìpẹ́. Àkọ́kọ́ rú ẹ̀ tí àwọn èèkàn lókọlókọ ọmọ Yorùbá lágbàáyé yóò mọ parapọ̀ fún ǹdọ̀ kan sọ wípé Olúwa ó ṣe é. Tá a sì ti mọ láǹfààní láti mọ pàdé àwọn olólùfẹ́ wa gbogbo. Láwọn tí wọ́n jó nígbọ̀wọ́ fún ètò ìdúpẹ́ yìí. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ látòrí Yorùbá UK Central Office fúnra lára wọn gan. Tí wọ́n tó ní nǹkan là ń jọ ṣe. Koiki Media tí wọ́n jágbẹnusọ fún Dr. Sunday Igboho Òòṣà. Gbẹ̀dú magazine ti ka lára rẹ̀. Dr. Sabi Talk Show. Sanfatis FM. Gbogbo àpapọ̀ Yorùbá World Congress àti Yorùbá World Media lágbàáyé. Ọjọ́ ọpẹ́ lọ́jọ́ àbámẹ́ta lẹ́yìn tó jọjọ́ kejì oṣù kejìlá ọdún tí a wà yìí. Ní Abadasha Action College, Pips Road Side, Pips Road, London, SE14 5SF, UK 135 Pips Road, London, SE14 5SF ni ó ti máa wáyé. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ látago 3 ọ̀sán títí di agogo 10 àṣálẹ́ UK time. Ọ̀fẹ́ àti ìrọ̀rùn ní ètò jíjẹ mímu ọjọ́ náà mọ bọ́ sí fún wa. Tá ò sì ní gba kọ́bọ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹnikẹ́ni fún owó ìwọlé. Tó já sí wípé gbogbo ẹni tó bá fẹ́ wá sí bí ètò ìgbà yìí lọ́jọ́ náà, ó gbọ́dọ̀ gba tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì wọlé rẹ̀ lórí Eventbrite. Lọ́kàn tẹ́ bá ti tẹ First Yoruba Community in UK Meet and Greet Thanksgiving. Lẹ́wọ̀n láǹfààní àti forúkọ yín àti àwọn tó bá fẹ́ tẹ̀lé yín wá síbi ayẹyẹ ìkalẹ̀ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Ẹ má gbàgbé wípé ètò tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì wa yìí dá lórí first come first serve. Fún ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àlàyé síwájú sí i tàbí tẹ́yin gan bá nírànwọ́ tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe fún wa kí ètò yìí lè wáyé kó dùn kí gbọ́ngbọ́n kan sí i. Bóyá yín náà sì fẹ́ so kéèsì bísínẹ́sì tètò náà bá ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Ẹ lè fàtẹ̀jíṣẹ́ sọwọ́ sí wa látòrí ímeèlì wa ecco@yukgb.org àbí kẹ́ pè wá lórí 073-671-52852. Bákan náà ní ẹ lè pè 073-940-56266 tàbí kẹ́ pè 077-609-86460. Ọjọ́ ìdúpẹ́, ọjọ́ ayọ̀ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lágbàáyé. Yorùbá World Media ló kéde lórúkọ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lágbàáyé.
Àwọn alájẹ kan já sí olóyòyò ojújú àgbẹ̀ ìpàwọ̀.
That is the Yoruba one. We will play the English one in just about a few minutes. I would like to appreciate the Yoruba Central Office that is working very hard. We'd like to appreciate every Yoruba communities around the world, regardless of your take on the Yoruba self-determination, regardless of where you believe or where you stand. But I can confirm that millions of Yoruba people are in support, standing shoulder to shoulder with Dr. Igboho. And we say, I, Olayomi Koiki, stand with Dr. Oloye Sunday Igboho. Maybe you might want to write the same thing in the comment section. We stand with him, Gidigba, and we will remain loyal to him. As we prepare again, I say good morning to everyone on the platform. I will not have the time to mention the names, but I appreciate you for spending the quality time with me. It is exactly 10 minutes past 9 a.m. I am transmitting from London. I am live on multiple channels. If you can't find me live at a particular time, I am not live. But if you're following us on all the platforms, you are likely to see a notification on when we are live. We are live on the 2 YouTube channel. We have the backup YouTube channel called the W76 Media. We have the Koiki Media. We have the 2 Facebook channel, Koiki Media. We have Koiki Media Odudua. We have the Instagram. We have Koiki Media Instagram. We have Olayomi Koiki Instagram. We have the TikTok Koiki Media. We are live on the Twitter space. We are live on Twitter. So you can see that we are trying to push what we believe. Because Americans believe that terrorists must be neutralized. And I'm sure you know what that means. I am just trying to save my energy using the word kill them. Americans neutralize terrorists. They don't give room for terrorists. America will never give room to terrorists. As we prepare again, because I can see that my hot water is on. I hope you also have full electricity to boil water in Nigeria. I'm sure some of you are using cooking gas. How much is the cooking gas today? That is also economic sabotage. The northern part of Nigeria have destroyed Nigeria, also including the Yorubas and the Igbos and the Hausas. They are all part of the crime against humanity. I say good morning once again to friends and lovers of freedom, friends and lovers of humanity. I am not seeing enough of I stand with Igboho. Maybe I am the only one standing with Igboho, because I have told him this morning again and again, we will stand with you shoulder to shoulder. And Oloye Igboho send his greetings to each and every one of you. He is currently in what we call Owa Ninu Igbale. You might ask the meaning of that for those of you that do not understand Yoruba. So let's go straight to the next Yoruba Day that is coming up December 2nd. Put it in your diary. It's a Saturday. It is free. You don't have to pay, but you have been asked to register on the Eventbrite just to manage the crowd. This is not Nigeria. We do things in accordance in UK.
Oh yes, it's Yoruba Thanksgiving Day, organized by Yoruba UK Central Office. On the 2nd of December 2023, the Yoruba community will be holding a Thanksgiving program where we shall be meeting in person Yoruba dignitaries, leaders, men and women of substance. This Thanksgiving is not only meant to promote Yoruba unity, harmony and to speak in one voice, but also to give a worthy of thanks to Almighty for the privilege and opportunity so far. Yoruba Thanksgiving Day scheduled for Saturday, 2nd of December 2023 from 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. UK time at Abadasha Asham College, Pips Road site, Pips Road, London, SE14 5SF UK. 135 Pips Road, London, SE14 5SF. Convened and fully supported by Yoruba UK Central Office, Koiki Media, Bedu Magazine, Dr. Zabi Talk Show, YWC Worldwide, Sanfis FM. Ticket is totally free. Just go to Eventbrite, check for the first Yoruba community in UK. Meet and greet Thanksgiving. Click on the link to register yourself and as many as you want to come along with you. Free of charge. Please note, our ticket is based on first come, first serve. For more enquiries, sponsor or advert placement, send us an email via ecco@yukgb.org or you can call or WhatsApp us on 073 671 52852 or 073 940 56266. Also 077 609 86460. Yoruba Thanksgiving Day, bringing unity to the Yoruba nation. Announcer, Yoruba World Media.
I would like to appreciate once again every member of Yoruba community. Whether you are in support of the right of the Yoruba people to self-determination, whether you are still of the belief that restructuring is what you need, even those of you that still believe in the government of the day, or those of you that are opposition, the question is, terrorism is operating in Nigeria and somebody is speaking out. Once again, without mentioning all the names, I can see all the comments, but let us not divert by mentioning the names. Let us remind ourselves that we still have Adogon, Alhaji Adisa Adogon. He has a mother, wives, children. This man is a business friend to Dr. Igboho. He was assassinated by President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president, and the vice president Yemi Osinbajo, and everyone that knows what took place at Igboho's residence on the 1st of July 2021. Adisa was passing by. Is somebody that I met a few times at that residence. He was not just killed, he was murdered, cold-blooded. His body still remains everywhere that they've kept, anywhere it is. We don't know where it is. It's still currently with the federal government or the DSS. So I'm saying to Afunaya, crime against humanity was committed. You were the spokesperson of the DSS. You will be paying for what took place at Igboho's residence. We will come at the appropriate time. You will also answer questions at the ICC, International Criminal Court. We already have a case with the former president, and the list of them. You would also not be spared because you knew what took place, because you are part of the representative of the government. Not just Adisa was killed. Alhaji Fatai is a Muslim. He's an uncle to Dr. Oloye Igboho. He went there to tell Oloye that he has just bought a car. He wanted to present the car and bless him. He never knew that that would be the end of him. He was killed. Or should we say he was also murdered. He's not very good with his eyesight. He was about to do his prayer when he was assassinated. They tried to assassinate this man that you're looking at his picture. In case you don't know the person we're talking about, that is the reason why I put on the outfit, so that you can understand and see who we are talking about. He's a Yoruba man that lives in the southwest of what is called Nigeria today. But he has become the voice of millions of Nigerians, because Nigerians cannot speak out anymore. If you speak out, you are likely to be killed, just like you were killed at Oyigbo during the EndSARS, just like many people were killed in Lekki Toll Gate. As I speak to Nigerians today, 34 innocent Nigerians are still in the prison. If they've committed crime, take them to the court and let the court decide. Even Daizani, that had an allegation in UK, has been released on bail, and the case has been adjourned to 2025. So what makes Nigeria different is because Nigeria do not respect constitution. Nigeria do not respect its own law. And this is where we are today. So what is terrorism? How do we put out terrorism? And let me give you some of those headlines. Maybe before we do that, maybe I should remind us again that 2021, this atrocity took place somewhere again in Oyo State known as Igboho. This was around June. Many lives were lost. We were just making our way back after a very beautiful outing to present Yoruba Nation campaign to people in Ekiti State. I'm sure some of you remember those videos. I'm sure some of you remember, you don't see Igboho, but it became a dead trap. Many lives were lost. Someone was able, just before his phone battery died, sent a short video. That video is still in our memories. And if you have forgotten, my job is to remind you that what Igboho stand for today is what America will stand for, what the world leaders will stand for, what the G20, the G7, the BRICS. I am not sure that no countries around the world will sit back and fold their hands and allow terrorists to massacre their citizens because they either disagree with them on different views or they are being used as a scapegoat because they are planning to take control of Nigeria. Under President Muhammadu Buhari, the Yoruba people lost nothing less than 30,000 people died in 8 years. Even the war between the British government and the IRA, less than 10,000 people died in that period of over 30 years. So I'm sure you could start putting the weight behind it. If there was a war between the IRA, and I'm not talking about just a war, it was a real war because they wanted their right to self-independent as a country. But yet, they lost only 8,000 people in the space of 3 decades. But in the space of 8 years, not even up to a decade, the Yoruba people lost 30,000 people. And the question is, those are the ones that are accounted for. Many people died for hunger. Many people died for negligence of not having a government in place. When we talk about welfare, many of you even died, but you are still alive. And I'll remind you how. Do you know that you lost a year from the university last year, whether you're polytechnic, technical school, because the government shut down the education system during Buhari for 8 months. That literally means that some of you died in that process. But the one that seems to occur all the time to you all is the EndSARS. But before the EndSARS, maybe I should take you back to what took place on the 6th of June. Okay, sorry, got to cut my internet on. Once again, a very good morning and welcome to the live transmission, 21 minutes past 9, and this is the breakfast show.
Hello friends, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Dr. Paul Ezike. Welcome to this platform. If you're
not that one, that's not what we're looking for. Let's go back again.
Click on the share and follow. All right, like I said, I'm running.
Let's get that back again. Once again, a very good morning and welcome to each and every one of you that have joined us this morning. Let's go back again. While I'm still waiting for that to pop up, let me give you some of the headline. What I've done this morning, I've just gone straight on Google. Good morning to you, my brother. Olugbedu, I can cite you there. And if I don't mention anybody's name, I have the right to mention our working media. And if there's any other media on the ground there that can't see you, I say good morning so that you do not say I am partial. But to the rest of you all, I say a very good morning. My name is Olami Koiki Media. I am the last man standing. Let's go further. And I say thank you so much to my family. While I'm waiting for that video to pop up, terrorism, according to Wikipedia, terrorist or terrorism in its broadest sense is use of international violence. The Yorubas, under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye, are not terrorists, and we have not committed any act of genocide. But there's a particular set of people known as the Fulanis. Not all the Fulanis, we got to agree on that, but the majority of them are coming into the borders. We have about 1,000 porous border across Nigeria today that has been left open because of inadequate of security. But in the Yoruba land, between Benin Republic, try to travel through there this morning, and you will see the amount of security that have been kept there. That is economic sabotage. Because the reason they're doing that is they are securing our borders and allowing the northern part to bring in terrorists, jihadists. Let's take it back again. I hope the video will be ready now. Yeah, this is ready now.
Sunday. Gbogbo iṣẹ́ tí Fúlàní pa tàbá sọ ẹ̀ràn wa kọ́ni lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ràn owó èèyàn lọ́wọ́ ogun ń bọ̀ ẹ̀wòrán ṣógun ò ti dé òkú tó wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ bá sọ̀rọ̀ sí more than 15 ẹ̀wòrán ṣógun dí àbí ogun òde iṣẹ́ Fúlàní lẹ́wọ̀n yìí o èyí Sunday lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ gbogbo ilé iṣẹ́ tí ń rí gbogbo akọ́nẹ́jọ́ ẹni dé wọ́n ti pọ́nmọ́ Yorùbá tó bá ìbáyẹn ní dé ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run má kí àìjẹ́ wá gbé gbogbo ẹ̀ bá ti wo fídíò bá ń pè kó ìkẹ́ ẹjọ́ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí this is war ẹ ti rí ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run fóònù tó ti fẹ́ kú ẹ wo ìgangan láwà ìgangan láwà ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣọ́jà Nàìjíríà lẹ́ni ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣọ́jà Nàìjíríà lẹ́ni ẹjọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣọ́jà Nàìjíríà lẹ́ni èní Sunday já ṣọ́jà Nàìjíríà òkú ti pọ̀jù ẹjọ́.
Some of you might not understand the pain of what some of our brothers, sisters, regardless of whether we are from the same blood, but we are all Yorubas. Regardless of whether they are northerners, many of them have been killed this way. On record, within 48 hours in Yobe State, 40 people died. But it seems that Nigerians seem to quickly forget that terrorist is not something that you joke with. They kill economy, they destroy who you are. And the whole agenda that is taking place in Nigeria is because there is something behind it. What could be behind it? Maybe we should listen to this.
Do you know the UK landlord's nasty little secret? So, have you got...
And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. 1 or 2 who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria. Don't joke with what I'm saying. I have a PhD from Oxford University. I'm a central banker. We don't talk nonsense. So don't joke with what I'm telling you. I have this from the highest possible authority, higher authorities of some of the commanders of the killers and Boko Haram.
You said northern governors, past or present, Dr. Badaya.
No, current. No, they said one of them is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. One of them. And they are not looking for money. They have more than enough money. In fact, he told me they just came back from...
May the soul of Dr. Obadia rest in peace. Good morning, Akalamago TV. Good morning, my brother, the hardworking Yoruba media must be. Let's come back again quickly to remind you of the attack on the train. According to the transport minister then, Rotimi Amechi, hinted Tuesday that the fatal attack on the Kaduna-bound train could have been averted. So if the government, excuse me, knew that they could have stopped this attack, why then nothing was done? Was it deliberate? Was it to make sure that we continue to put fear on the minds of Nigerians that if you do not listen, we will deal with every single one of you. We will come after you. We will destroy you. And we might also maybe stop bringing food to your territory. Are we now in a war? Because if they are using the food as part of their tools to say to the Yoruba people or to the Southern people that we will deal with every single one of you because you would not listen to us. We own Nigeria. We will decide how and what we do in Nigeria. If you do not agree with us, you have the right to move to another country or another territory. But as long as you will live in Nigeria, we will be the one to take the shot. Does it mean that we are now in the stage where the Northerners would dictate that we must be reminded that the British gave them the authority over the rest of the Nigerians or the indigenous people? Because there is a lot of evidence that the British played double game during the negotiation of what is called the Nigerian independence. The British played a double game by making sure that they hand over Nigeria to the north, to the northern part of Nigeria. And that is why today, the northern part of Nigeria says that they have the numbers, even though, again, the evidence is out there that is a complete lie. That the census that was done before the election of 1960 was inflated by the British colony or the British Empire. It is not new that the British Empire committed so much atrocities across the globe. They ruined many territories. They killed many people. They've even refused to apologize. They've committed crime, but yet they are not ready to accept those crimes. They have told us that we should move on. We should accept our fate. We should disagree with them, but we should not hold them accountable for those crimes. The reason why Amechi could not defend Nigerians on that train is because Buhari was the president and Buhari was a sadist. Buhari was not just a sadist, he was a wicked, evil man. He knew that protecting Nigerians should be the top priority of any government. But the former evil sadist that came from Niger, his father is from Niger, the mother is from Castina. So Buhari knew that he has to protect Nigerians, but you can see that he left Nigeria in a state of mess. Many of you will never know the crime these dead or alive have done on your lives. So when you are thinking that Igboho is just fighting for the Yorubas, no, he's not. Igboho is actually calling your attention that the reason why some of you have become content creator, I mean, every little thing, everybody's creating content, some of your content are not even relevant in the normal society when the rest of the world are protecting their businesses through whatever. I mean, there's an ongoing event going on in the UK called the AI. Elon Musk is here. Everybody's here. Many Nigerians should be traveling here to see how the AI. Oh, have you seen the driverless vehicle in Japan? This was produced in Japan, but by the time you start asking questions, you realize that some of them are still in secondary school. It is not a prototype. This was carrying passenger. The man that recorded it is a Yoruba man, and I'm sure some of you have seen the video. I don't have to play it again. But there is something that we must remind you, that the North is telling us that we should not forget that we own Nigeria. Nigeria belongs to us. And they've used terrorists because El Rufai, the short man devil, knew that terrorists would be used to destroy Jonathan. And they brought them in. The terrorists refused to go back because the agreement has not been reached. The agreement was we will be getting part of Nigeria. Maybe some of you don't know that. That was part of the deal between El Rufai and the jihadis that was brought from Chad, from Niger, brought from Mali. They were meant to be giving them territory that will be called the Fulani territory. But they wanted to change that. And that is the reason why they've now become what we called Hillhall. They've now turned Nigeria into blood-sucking place. America, UK, China, Russia, Canada, Japan, any of these countries would never allow such. The question then is, why is our own politicians, why are they keeping quiet? Why are they not taking the seriousness of the terrorists? They are more concerned about the new vehicle for what? Well, let me remind you again that this is what we were told by these terrorists in the last 24 hours. They reminded us that they own Nigeria and we must be ready to listen
Every
to
Nigerian
them.
has a right to live in any country. Just of recent, Sunday Igboho was released from prison, but he issued a fresh ultimatum for Fulani community that are residing in Yoruba land to leave the region within 10 days. This time around, we, the Northern Consensus Movement of Nigeria, will do everything possible to stop that move. And if he refuses to listen if he resists to listen, then we have no option rather than to ask Yorubas that are resident in the northern Nigeria to also go back to their region. On the issue of compensation for our victims as a result of NSAS killing, Shasha Akinyele markets killings, IPOP and ESN killings, we have been pursuing it for some years now. Since previous administration, a lot of promises were made, but still the federal government refused to fulfill the promise. So we are requesting Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on this issue of compensation to do something on it.
I will remind us that these Northern Consensus are part of the crime against humanity. They are part of those
as we
that
are given 4 weeks ultimatum,
what we call the food leverage. Because what they are presenting to us is to say that we own Nigeria, we produce the food that every Nigerian eats. But what they are not telling us is that they've destroyed Nigerians, or they've destroyed Nigeria with what we call terrorists. And the terrorist attack that have killed many innocent people is because they want to use the northern part of Nigeria to continue to produce food for the rest of us. So I'll give you an example. You are not likely to be able to go to your farm. Why? Because terrorist is operating. Let me take you back to, again, the word terrorist, according to the Wikipedia. Terrorism itself, terrorism in its broadest sense is the use of intentional violence. If it is just violent, maybe some of us can also say, enough is enough. We will come and also defend ourselves if the government does not defend you, because T.Y. Danjuma says Nigerians should go and defend themselves because you don't have any government. Well, we have a new government now, and we are still watching. But I have not seen the same government calling them terrorists. So this government is still using the word bandits. And let me tell you, under international law, you cannot do certain things with certain individuals. So if you're calling them bandits, that means the way you will react to them will be different from neutralizing a terrorist. You neutralize terrorists. You don't allow terrorists to continue to grow. Oh, did I say grow? Maybe I should remind you that Zulum is now advising Nigerians to prepare for the worst case scenario, according to Zulum 3 days ago on Channels television. Boko Haram may wipe up Nigeria off the map. Zulum raises alarm about insurgency. Why do you think he's raising the alarm? Because the IDP camps that the same terrorists have used as fear, violence, to achieve what they call political or ideological aims. I told you earlier that El-Rufai brought them in with a set of people to destroy the Jonathan government. They've refused to go back. They've become a manic. They've become a problem across Nigeria. But they are there because they want to create fear. And anyone that creates fear in you, you will run away from them, and you are likely to lose your own territorial ground. So what we are saying now is there's more pressure in Lagos State with 20 million there. Some of you should not be in Lagos State. You should be in Ilorin. You should be in Oyo State. You should be in Kogi. You should be in Kwara. You should be in the southeast and go back to farm, because that is where you are meant to be. But you cannot go back to farm. You have now dropped down to the southwest and put pressure on the southwest that do not have that infrastructure. Even though we are all Nigerians, but we expect some of you not to be in Lagos State, because you don't have to be in Lagos State. You can still walk in the farm, build a house there, live a proper life, but many of you cannot live a proper life. So Lagos is now a place that puts security, at least to some extent. But Lagos itself might be wiped off the map, according to Zulu. The Borno State Governor, Professor Babagana Zulum, has raised the alarm that Boko Haram insurgency is threatening to consume the nation if the humanitarian crisis that they created. Maybe it is time that we tell the Northern Consensus to deliver their food to the IDP and kill the terrorists that will grow from there, and stop bringing their stupid, nonsensical food to the southwest and allow us to grow our own food without Fulani terrorists. But as long as there's Fulani terrorists on our ground, Oloye will continue to speak out. Just as Joe Biden will speak out against terrorists, just like Rishi Sunak will speak out, just like any other world leader will speak out. The same thing, Oloye will speak out, Professor Banji will speak out, the Yoruba people will speak out against the atrocity of the criminal called terrorist Boko Haram under the Northern Consensus, and likewise the Meyati Allah. You are all criminals. Criminals, I said. You created the fear, you created the violence by creating many IDP camps that is now being used to groom the young ones to become the next generation of terrorists. So we expect the Northern Consensus, keep that bloody food of yours in the north and deliver that to Borno State, as many as possible, so that those in Borno State can be fed 3 times a day. Bomb bastards. Keep those food to yourself and allow us to breed a little bit. Just like America says, let us breed. Enough is enough. We will not sit back and allow you to continue to commit crime against humanity. The British government will not allow such. That means that Igboho will not allow such as well. Keep that your bloody food and deliver that to Borno State. Give it to Professor Babagana Zulum and let him pay for all those food. Keep your tomato there. Keep all your nonsense food there. And many of you Yoruba that are still eating the cow, maybe you should go on my status if you have my number and I've registered your number on my phone. If I don't register, you cannot see my status. And see how they're sleeping with the cow, because the cow is their second wife. They will kill you because of one cow. We don't need those food. Keep those food to yourself. The Yorubas have been building their territorial space before you were all part of us during the regional government. Cocoa was used to build the cocoa house. Cocoa was used to buy the Nigerian High Commission under the siege of the late Obafemi Awolowo. We bought that Nigerian house, number 9 of Timberland, that the Northerners have been using to destroy those of us here, because when you try to apply for a Nigerian passport, the Northerners that are there are also using that platform to make sure that you are likely not to get a Nigerian passport. And if you're going to get such, you will have to pay under your nose. I am Olayomi Koiki of Koiki Media. So this time around, we expect the current administration not to take it easy with the terrorists. You neutralize them out of every part of Nigeria. Equip the military and send them into every part of where they are disturbing. Maybe I should remind you the Ondo Owo killings. Some of you probably have forgotten a king that was killed in Yoruba land by the same Fulani terrorist. This king died because we refused to speak out. He died a few years ago. I'm trying to get all the full details. Once again, a very good morning and welcome. I think I didn't spell it right. It should be I. How many of you remember the death of Obaifon? Obaifon was killed right inside Yoruba territory. Till date, no one has been held for the death of Obaifon. And this was in 2020. So if you're a Yoruba man, and I've listened to some of you that I believe that you're a traitor anyway.
If nothing else is...
You spoke with this other criminal that called himself Nisama Nisebong. You are not a Yoruba anyway, so I don't expect you to support Igboho. This is another criminal man or criminal boy that thinks that it can use our own hero as a toothpick like President Buhari, dead or alive. This man went on air and started talking trash against our hero. His name is Nisama Isebong. I have posted him this morning at about 6 o'clock, but that information got to me last night. Let me tell those of you that are against Igboho, you have the right to be against him, but I hope you remember that terrorist does not know whether you are APC or PDP or AAC or Yoruba Nation or Biafra Nation or Arewa Nation. When they get hold of you, you are likely to be neutralized by the same terrorist. So this 419 guy, which I believe is part of the current administration from the cap is putting on, he has a right to support whoever he wants to support. But whoever knows him, tell him to keep his dirty, stinking mouth out of Igboho's name. Because Igboho is not his mate. He has the right to do whatever he wants to do. He has no right to say to Igboho to... He's not living in Nigeria, from what I heard. He lives outside Nigeria. I'm not sure wherever country he lives, that country will allow terrorists to operate. The bloated guy, a non-entity, Mr. Igbo, or whatever you call it. I'm sure this is it Calabar? Because that sounds like people from that side. You're not Yoruba. So what is your problem if a man is coming out to defend his people? So whoever knows him, tell him to keep his dirty, stinking mouth out of our problem. Because what I can confirm that in 2020, Fulani terrorists killed a monarch in Ondo State. Where is this idiot? When people are being massacred on our territory, for him to be telling us that Igboho is trying to create problem in Nigeria, the problem that the British created in the first place. We're trying to clear the mess that the British government created. I live here for the past 25 years. And as much as the British citizens are the most good, innocent people, you can see them every now and then protesting for different things that some of you will never even come out and protest because you'll be killed in Nigeria. I have lived there. I have attended events that they appreciate what the late, the man that was killed by Abacha, the environmental activist, what's his name again? That was killed during the Abacha regime. I have attended events that you can see the way they appreciate him. I have attended events the way they appreciate it. And maybe I should remind you, some of you that are from the Southeast, I was going to be doing another program on this separately. Ken Sarawiwa, thank you so much. I was at an event where a man spoke about a man that lived in UK during the 17th century from Southeast. Some of those in the Southeast probably never have heard about this before, or maybe they might have. And let me first bring the name out properly. My brother talked about this man that the British would never want you to know about. He died here in UK, a very rich man from the Southeast. Bear with me. There's this man called Oludo Ekwano. I've never heard about him before myself. Let me tell those from the Southeast, don't come on our platform and expect that we do the same thing. We will run the same affairs differently. Igboho is not going to do as you are doing. We respect what you do, and you must also respect us as well. So what I'm about to share now, I don't have to share it, but it's part of the knowledge. Let me give the timeline, and you might want to write the name down. Equiano. Some of you, even in the Southeast, might never, I'm sure the Yoruba will never have had it before because it's not from our own side. I was just privileged to be somewhere where his name was mentioned. It's called Equiano. The African Olada Equiano. Olaudh. And let me give you the quick timeline that I have here. And you can go on the Equiano Society or equiano.uk, where you can also read from this. I'll be doing a different program on it. In 1745, Olaudh Equiano, born in Esaka in what is now southeast Nigeria. In 1756, kidnapped and is sold to various masters within Africa, then endures the Middle Passage to Barbados and to Virginia. In 1756, he was brought by a British naval officer, Michael Henry Pascal, and is renamed against his will. Imagine having to be renamed. That is what is about to take place in the current Nigeria today. Some of you, like Borno State Governor said, I just go back one step, that Nigeria will be wiped off. And if it doesn't wipe off, we might not be bearing our name again. Let's go back again to Equiano. Equiano was brought by the British naval officer Michael Henry Pascal and is renamed against his will to Gustavus Vasa, Gustavus space Vassa. Imagine in the next 300 years when every one of us have died, and then the Yoruba people as at that time will be bearing a different name. That is the crime that Igboho is trying to stop. That is a crime that we are saying that our real identity must now come back quickly so that we can catch up before we all die, because nobody will live here forever. We only pray to live longer enough to witness the good things and not the bad things. many parents, many people are witnessing things that they shouldn't be witnessing in the current Nigeria today because of the terrorism that is taking place. Don't wait until Nigeria is wiped off on the map before you be part of this conversation. So in 1756 to 62, served with Pascal in the Royal Navy in the 7 Years' War with France. Imagine this man was kidnapped in what is known as the southeast of Nigeria today. He was born in Esaka. And I'm going to be speaking to Simon. I don't know whether he's aware of this as well. Something that the Igbo people should look into. And I'll be going down to his burial ground. He's buried here in UK. Let's go further. In 1759, he's baptized. Just like, remember, we had the similar one, which we called, is it Ajayi Crowder? Or, I'm sure, I can't remember the name now. Is it Ajayi Crowder or the other one? Remind me, Mr. Sheguano. The one that was moved that, did the Bible and, change it to Yoruba, whatever it was. I can't remember the name. Hopefully I get the name on the comment section. So, in 1975, imagine this man that has African tie is now being baptized. That tells you that from there on, they've changed his identity. His identity is no longer the African from the Eastern, time of before it was Nigeria, because there was nothing called Nigeria as at the time. Bishop Samuel Ajayi Crowther, yeah. I'm sure that is not his full name. He must have been baptized as well, because during that time, they were committing so much crime, which the terrorist is trying to do on every Nigerian today. So when Nigerians are trying to still keep Nigeria, your identity is taken away from you every second. We must do whatever it takes to protect our real identity. We are one people, one culture, one language. I can't imagine Nigerians watching Messi that doesn't speak English, but you love him because he plays good football. But he's keeping his real identity. That's why he doesn't have to speak English, because English is not his own original language. He was just given an award. He could not even speak one iota of English because he's trying to keep his identity. But the same Nigerians continue to want to keep Nigeria while the terrorists have a different agenda. And that is why they are warning us. I'm going to come back again to, let me round up quickly with Equano before I move on from there. So he was baptized in 1759. As at this time, remember that Nigeria is still not yet born. Because Nigeria was born in 1900. So as at 1700, this man from the Eastern, what is called as at the time, they have now changed his identity. Only God knows whether the grandchildren will start fighting back to reverse. Because this man that told us this are part of those that are fighting for the Windrush. So people knew the Windrush, but we don't know about this because we are not promoting what we should be telling our people. And I hope those media for the Biafra will pick on this. If you're watching me right now, tell your media to go on equano.co.uk and start talking about this man. He's a great man from the southeast of what is called Nigeria today. There was nothing called Nigeria as at the time he was kidnapped. The same way that we are being kidnapped. The only difference now is either you are being killed or you are being raped or you pay ransom. And you can pay ransom and you can still be killed. So some of you do not understand that this fight for self-determination and our freedom to secure our language will entail a lot of pain. I am giving you a backstory of a man that was kidnapped in 1745. 1756 rather. He was born in 1745. This was during the slave trade. I pity Nigerians that do not know the history to who they are. You want to save something that is not even up to your if you multiply how many people have been born in your household, take it back from your father. Who born your father? Who born the father? We born your father. Who born the one we born up? Take it back there and you realize that some of them are even older than what you call Nigeria today. So what is it that you are trying to save? Why is this hatred for Igboho? For standing firm against the same thing that took place in 1756 when kidnapped Equiano. I spell it again, Equiano. The full name is Ola Uda Equiano. He was then baptized to a different name to call Gustava Vasa. This is how we lost generations. So sometimes you are hearing somebody's name, but until we are now able to trace it back, that who are we? Some of you don't want us to trace it back. So don't you know that the longer we are keeping Nigeria, it will be difficult at some point to trace back your family roots. Trace back your family roots. I have mine. And start asking yourself whether truly you are who you are in terms of what they are telling you as a Nigerian. There's nobody called Nigeria. Nigeria was just a mere geographical location. We own the space, but the British put a different name under Lugard to call it Nigeria. We all own the space. The North own their space. Everybody owns their space. And if anybody wants to now hijack your space, then it's either we take it to the international law or we fight to defend it. Why do you think that there's war breaking out around the world today? Because during the colonial era, the borders were all destroyed and changed, especially during the Berlin 1884. Some of you will never understand this backup history that we are telling you today. This I've never had in my life. I only had the opportunity just last week. And let's continue quickly on this man. We now know that he was baptized in St. Margaret Church, Westminster Abbey, where every royal mothers and their children have got married. You've seen me there a few times, opposite the Queen Elizabeth and just adjacent the Supreme Court in London here. Imagine somebody from Africa was moved and then his name was changed because he was a slave and he has no right. Some of you today are still the same slave under the same fraudulent country called Nigeria. And you do not want to accept it because it's kind of be like, why should I accept it? Because this guy don't say it. You don't like the truth. You want me to come here and be telling you Nigeria will be great. Great by who? Who's going to make it great? The British government? The American government? You think they care about us? Why if America care about you, why can't you get a visa at least easy to go to America? Why must it be vetted when the European countries that are not even up to some of our states can travel around to America without a visa? Oh, you haven't thought about that. America is building the biggest embassy in Lagos State. The project is still going to be starting very soon. Why? There's something in it. My wife was asking me that, why are they building this embassy if we are not getting visa? The nearest date for a visa to America is 2024. That is even if you get a visa. But the British citizens do not need a visa because all they need is a passport and then boom, they pay for the ticket and they're gone. So many of you today that are in support of this country called Nigeria will suffer for it. It's just a matter of time. I don't believe in prophecy, but sometimes you just have to see whether you can nick one or two things from me. So let me quickly wrap it up from here, with this, man, a great man, I'm told. He was baptized at the St. Margaret Church, Westminster in 1759. Nigeria was not born then. 1763 to 66, he is again resold. I mean, imagine he has been sold for a very long time. They now sold him off again. Do you know that the British government is still paying the generation of those that their parents took slaves? I happened to hear that about 2, if not 3 years ago, when I was somewhere in Westminster. There were some people doing protests, and the man was telling us that British government, rather this or the previous one, they are paying people that their generation took slave out of Africa. Unbelievable. You are there. I am 6,000 kilometers away. Terrorists is not likely going to kill me here, but doesn't mean that they are not operating. But if they're operating in this country, the MI5, every one of them are working to make sure that we can neutralize them. You don't protect terrorists, you neutralize them. We don't have what it takes to neutralize them, but Igboho has his voice. And each time that voice goes out, that voice would have millions of Igboho to react. So if you're one of those that hate him, well, start thinking that your identity is what Igboho is protecting, your culture and your territorial space. Once again, my name is Olawumi Koiki, and this is still Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. We are now almost to the last half an hour. This program ends at exactly 10:30. I got to prepare for the Star Radio UK. We hope to be back this morning after all the technical glitch. Again, in 1763 to 66, is resold to Robert King in Montreal and worked on trading ships in West Indies and on the mainland American colony. The British built their empire on the slave trade. The European countries built their empire on the slave trade. Now they're complaining that there's too much immigration. What an ironical time to be alive. 1766, through petty trading on the side, as you can tell that the Igbos are into trade. You can hear what I say there. Through petty trading on the side, Ekwano saves enough money to buy his own freedom. Wow, this is deep. So when you see that the Igbos are doing well, some of them are not very good, just like the Yorubas. I saw some videos coming from OK something, and I'm sure those are Yoruba people, they're kidnappers. We have some of them. But we're talking about our freedom now. Imagine he saves money. So when we say you donate to us, you can hear that in 1766, this man was saving money to buy his freedom. Support the media. Some of you think it's a joke, and we appreciate some of you. Especially some brothers listen to me and say, Koiki, you can't be coming out and be saying you need money. But we don't expect one person to be able to fund the media. We have thousands of you. I did video yesterday, back to back. I couldn't even, come out again after almost 6 hours straight program yesterday. I went straight to bed. We're up again this morning. Donate £1. Give us money. Some of you say, which money you want? But somebody saved money in 1766 to buy his own freedom. How do you buy your freedom today? I'm asking you. Once again, to those from the Southeast, I want you to go and check right now. If you're watching me, I know a lot of you are listening to me. I have a lot of you on my Twitter space right now. Go on ekwano.co.uk and you should start distributing this message. This is one of your people that was sold out as a slave. I've not completed his story. So when we say donate, support, you have to. If we want to buy our freedom, you have to pay for it. Freedom doesn't come cheap. And nobody wants, look at the way they've been selling it. Nobody wants their slave to go. I can see Dino is so excited. He wants to be the governor. The moment he becomes the governor, that means extra money for him. He might do one or two projects. Go and ask Yaya Bello now how much he has stolen from Kogi State. I pity Nigerians. You think the 4 years will save your lives. I will be here 6,000 kilometers. But the problem is Ike Kiremaru is not coming home anytime soon. He's here with us in the prison. He was a former PDP man. He's here for crime he committed. And we're going to wait for Bizani, God willing, 2025 November. I will remind every one of you. So, Ekwano, through petty trading on the side, Ekwano saves enough money to buy his own freedom. By 1767, completing one last mission for his old master. They don't want you to go. Hey, no, don't worry, it is not Tinubu. Just vote one more time. And then we went to vote and they lock us in again. If we have refused to vote, maybe things will have started, But the Yoruba people wanted to vote. How can that boy sit in London and say we shouldn't go and vote? Well, you have voted now, so you have to endure whatever Tinubu is going to do. You just have to. You have to. Don't complain. Allow him to do what he promised to do, but he also tells me to remind you also with this.
Cost of fuel has gone up. Food and other prices have followed it. households and businesses struggling. Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but yes.
There is no other way. That's the end of it. So please, those of you that voted, don't come and be disturbing us, okay? Just make sure you tell him to protect you against terrorists. I'm going to go one step back. Terrorism, in its broadest sense, is the use of intentional violence and fear to achieve what? Political or ideological aims. El-Rufai used terrorists for political aim. And that also helped Bola Tinubu anyway. That also helped Buhari. That also helped a pastor at the Redeemed Christian Church called Osibajo. Osibajo put his eyes away when they were using terrorism to destroy Jonathan time. Bring back our girls. I'm sure you all remember it was part of the cooked. Go into that school, they don't get security, move those girls out, and let's destroy Jonathan. Osibajo was aware of all this. So let's go back again quickly to Equano because we're just 20 minutes away. Once again, good morning, Easy Dollar. Good morning, every single one of you. The topic is, we Yorubas are in full support of Dr. Sunday Igboho. No country allow terrorists like Boko Haram. And before I go, I'll be telling you at least 3 countries that are already giving advice to their citizens against traveling to certain parts of Nigeria. And those of you that will be going to Nigeria, I can't tell you not to go. Go and enjoy yourself, but security conscious. Don't go there and get carried away. They can carry you go where you don't want to go. So just to wrap it up, the Equano one, he completed one last mission for his old master. Equano is shipwrecked in Bahamas and sails for London. Sails to Italy and Turkey. Slave uprising on Monstra. Equano unexpedited to find an Arctic passage to India. Wow. These people, these Oyinbo people. So let me just now read. Okay. In 1772, Gravel Sharp gets the Somerset decision declaring that slavery cannot exist in England and slaves setting foot, they are free. He got his freedom. How do you want us to get our freedom today? Are we going to save money and do more awareness, do more campaign, and I can look after myself as well? Or are we just going to be there saying, Yoruba nation, no going back. Yoruba nation, no going back. Biafra nation. Biafra have even got their sense now. Anyway, they know that they are not just going back. It is meta to meta. When it is meta to meta, then they will understand. But why should we do meta to meta when we can dissolve this union? It is not working. Why must you want to hold people and then you will then come back? I'm going to move swiftly. I'm going to do a full program on this, our brother, our father there, Equano later.
It's been done.
They are now telling us that, look, if you do not respect us as the owner of Nigeria, we will deal with every single one of them.
Actually going a peaceful protest, peaceful demonstration, after which we will shut down the country on all food supplies moving from north.
I want them to shut it down quickly. We shouldn't be scared. We shouldn't be intimidated. Let them shut it down because they have been shutting it down, and I'm going to take you to Benue State. Benue State, according to what I put on Google, I just put Benue State terrorists killed. 2 days ago, 16 Christians were slain in attacks in Benue State, Nigeria. Morning Star News. Fulani herdsmen and other terrorists on Sunday, October 29, killed 6 Christians in Benue State following the slaughter of another 10. One Nigerianess, come here and come and listen to me. They are not human beings, Abi. Oh, they are not your brothers. They are not your uncles. You can see the hypocrite in many Nigerians. We don't like Igboho. Igboho is now talking to save Yoruba people. We don't like him because he's telling Fulani to go. No, he's not telling every Fulani. He's telling the terrorist Fulani that we will come after you. Amnesty International, June 14, 2023. More than 120 people this year, since Bola Tinubu have been in power, since the inauguration. I am not the one saying this. This is Amnesty International. Let me open it up. 120 lives. I mean, people die around the world. What is Bola Tinubu doing to protect lives? Nigeria, more than 120 people killed since President Tinubu's inauguration. It is horrific that attacks by Fulani have claimed at least 123 lives merely weeks after President Bola Tinubu assumed office on May 29. Rural communities, we no get light. All they do is farming. The mother we don't go into monopause. They go open a leg, put whatever they want to put there, and they move on. And this is what Lugard created. So many of you are so excited to be Nigerian because that is what Lugard wanted. Lugard is your grandfather. Many of you love Nigeria because that is what Lugard wants. Love Nigeria until you die in Nigeria, until Nigeria kills you. Hey, Nigeria is not going to kill me in Jesus' name. Okay, what about the ones that they're killing? Are they not calling Jesus? Are they not praying 5 times? That is my Quran, okay? Don't come and tell me about religion here. I have my Bible upstairs. You keep that religion to yourself because that is not going to save you. So let's go back again and finish that.
All southern part of the country. This thing we have sent to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu even before he was inaugurated as president. And as President Commander-in-Chief, we have also forwarded this demand and request. All security agencies, the head of security agencies of this country are aware of it. All governors of 19 northern states, all former leaders, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, most especially those that come from the north, are aware of it. The Northern Traditional Council are aware of it. The 19 northern state assemblies are also aware of this issue. It's not a new matter. We have been pursuing this issue since during the NSAS, the Shasha Akinyele market killings, and that of the ESN and Nnamdi Kanu's killings. The National Assembly, I repeat, is fully aware of it under Senator Ahmed Lawan. That was mentioned specifically. And a bill was passed.
Yes, somebody is just. Thank you so much. Tobechuku says, of course, Nnamdi Kanu told us about the man 7 years ago, and we have researched about him. Thank you so much, Tobechuku Ugo. Somebody, he says also, we know him for decades, but the Yoruba people will probably not know him. And some people would probably even not have known him, even though Nnamdi Kanu spoke about him. But thank you so much. I just picked up your comment right now, and I appreciate that, we have every one of you on the thread. Good morning once again. Barika Jimoh to all our Muslim brothers. Good morning to our Christians. Good morning to our traditionalists. And good morning to the atheists. Now, everyone me alike. Keep that religion to yourself. Good morning to the Hindus, Buddhists. Don't come and use your religion and tell us something else. Thank you so much once again. So let's move swiftly away from this. You don't have to agree with the next video. But it's just to tell us that just know that something will lead to something before the total disintegration, dissolution, dismantle of that fake union that you are telling us all to hold on to. How it is going to happen is what nobody knows. But we are all trying. Education, awareness, linking things together, bringing our conscious mind. Oba Adegoke Adeusi, the Olufon of Ifon under Oshe local government area in Ondo State, was murdered by Fulani terrorists in 2020. Till date, nobody, even Yoruba people, don't even remember that they have it. I mean, we expect our king to grow old, but we have even forgotten that someone came from wherever and murdered our king. Even some Yoruba are saying, We thought the king can be having this kind of tradition that will protect them against, something that can just move them, that will just, even if the person see them, it will see 333. He will not know which one is the real. But since we have become baptized, as you can tell from Ekwano there, Ajayi Crowder was baptized. We have accepted that. It's part of us. There's nothing we can do. We have to live side by side with the Christian, with the Muslim. Our real tradition has no longer worked for us anymore. So we don't even know who we are. So Obaifon died. It was a Thursday evening at a spot around the Elegbeke axis of the town. I'm sure that area is still a crime against humanity. If it was this country, they will still be doing a lot of forensic search around that area. Maybe they will find something, fingerprint. They will go find fingerprint. We are not even there at all. So the next video before we start going, these programs end in 12 minutes. I don't expect you to believe it, okay? I am not here to force religion on us. Religion is your own problem that you deal with within your family. In the UK where I live, every church, there's a Redeemed next to me there, there's Baptist there, there's Methodist there, there's so many. They are all closed. Everybody has gone to work. But tomorrow or later this evening, oh yes, celebration, in the afternoon like this, the mosque will be open. After the mosque finish, people are going back to work. Uber driver, businessman, yes, but it's only Nigeria you have turned it to 24/7. As if we don't have no other job to do. So this next video, just take whatever you want to take out of it. And if you don't want to take anything, just leave it. But at least is a man of God that is saying something. And not come and tell me, Koiki, I don't believe in man of God. That is your own cup of tea, okay? I don't even believe in you anyway as well. So let's listen to him. And his name is Prophet Muyiwa Olusheyi. Let's listen to him.
Let's go there for 7 1 hour prayer. And our program 7 to 8 p.m. Kẹ́tọ́ lọ wá ẹnìkan bí oníkàbí lọ pa oníkàbí nípa olóògbé sápá kò sówó kò sí ogbó ẹ̀ ìyẹn kọ́ jẹ́ báyìí bàbá ọlọ́run ní ogbó ẹ̀ ojú oníkàbí lọ́wọ́ yín. Ìyà ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ń jẹ. Olúwa ti rán Messiah many times. God has sent Messiah several times. Àwọn èèyàn gbọ́ ọ̀gbọ́n ni. People are suffering. Yes, Olúwa ti rán Messiah. Ó ti rán àwọn pé lọ bá mi jà fún. God already sent some people. Ṣùgbọ́n àwọn èèyàn lọ tún sọ pé àta ló rán iṣẹ́. Some people are even saying who sent. So ó máa dé situation báyìí tó bá lè débi báyìí. It is so tough. Torí tí ò bá lè débi báyìí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn ní gbọ́. A lot of us will become. Náà ẹ wo àwọn èèyàn tó tójú wọn là láti bí 2019 sísìn. So don't. Ojú àwọn kan tí làwọn ṣe pariwo wọn Nàìjíríà. Some people are still saying wọn Nàìjíríà. Ìyá ẹ máa èmi ń gbàdúrà pé képo wọn 5,000. I pray that. Yes. Ẹni kí ni mi ìṣọ̀tà Nàìjíríà. Mi ìṣọ̀tà àwọn èèyàn. Torí tó bá wọ 5,000. Ẹni báwọn èèyàn wá jókòó sílé. Ọpọlọ wa gbọ́ pé ẹja pín. Ṣùgbọ́n tí kíní ò bá ti le, wọ́n sì máa sọ pé a lè rà a lè rówó rà a lè ṣe báyìí. Wọ́n sì ṣùgbọ́n tó bá le débi pé òníwọ̀n àpèsò ọ̀rọ̀ sápá yẹn ó sì máa dùn báyìí lọ. Bí ìṣeré o, ebi máa pa àwọn èèyàn gan next year. Ebi máa pa àwọn èèyàn gan. Ẹ̀rù wọn bá àwọn èèyàn fáàmì ń bọ̀. Ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation. Okay. Tabarika wo bẹ ṣe ń lọ bẹ ṣe ń tì lọ́wọ́ tì lọ sí. Yorùbá nation. Okay. Gbogbo ṣé Yorùbá nation sọ́nà ni fún wa ṣá? Sọ́nà ni. Bàbá ìbéèrè ni pé ta ló so Nàìjíríà pọ̀? Who tied Nigeria together? That's the question. Ìjọ tí wọ́n pe orúkọ Nàìjíríà ta lẹni tó pè. Ṣé ó sọ wípé ẹ̀mí Ọlọ́run pé òun pé kóun forúkọ yóò east yóò west yóò sáwọ́ yà kó ipò Nàìjíríà lÓlúwa sọ. Ènìyàn ló kó pọ̀. Náà ẹ máa gbọ́n sí. Ṣé ẹ mọ tó ń jẹ́ Israel? Gbogbo yẹn máa pariwo. Oh God of Israel! Israel ń jagun pẹ̀lú bọ̀bá yìí. Israel are fighting. Orí àwọn èèyàn ò pé. Wọ́n sọ gbọ́ fún yẹn sọ pé Israel jagun lọ́wọ́ fún òmìnira. Èyí wá sọ pé oh God of Israel nígbà tí oh God of Israel ọlọ́run Israel tẹ́ ẹ pé jagun pẹ̀lú ìbọn lọ́wọ́. Ẹ ti mọ̀ kankan. Fight for yourself. Ó ń brainwash ní Nàìjíríà. Àwọn pásítọ̀ ń brainwash. Àwọn gbogbo ẹ wá pariwo pé Israel tẹ́ ẹ pariwo tí gbogbo yín lọ. ẹ wá pa wá wà nílẹ̀ wá sọ pé ọlọ́run nàìjíríà ọlọ́run fún nàìjíríà àná ẹ máa jà nàìjíríà máa túká ní. nàìjíríà will fight we have to separate. ẹ má jẹ tàn yín tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ láti nìyẹn. Sunday Igboho ń kọ́ kílẹ̀ ní fún. bàbá yẹn mo sọ̀rọ̀ kan before kí wọ́n tó bọ́ta. before Sunday Igboho came out. mo rí wípé wọ́n máa mú wọn bínú. mo sọ jáde kí ni ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀. and that happened. Baba Sunday ẹ má bínú sa ẹ ti parí iṣẹ́. You don't completed your work. Iṣẹ́ sì kù. You still have a lot of work. Ṣùgbọ́n tí mo gbọ́ ni underground planning. But I said you should start underground. Ṣàtúbọ̀ dé stage kan. You get to level. Àwọn olóṣèlú kan ló máa pè é kọ́lẹ̀. Some politicians wọ́n máa pè é pé ṣe ready. Are you ready to. Torí wípé Nàìjíríà máa divide láti òkè òkun. Because Nigeria will be separated from abroad. Ẹ̀kọ́ tí mo Nàìjíríà máa divide láti òkè òkun. Ẹni tó bá sọ pé Nàìjíríà ò divide. Ẹ sọ pé kò fọmọ ẹ̀rú bọ. Báwọn ọmọ tó kù ṣe kú. Tẹ́bí ń pa wọ́n. Táwọn ọlẹ́ni sọnù. Tí wọ́n kidnap àwọn èèyàn. Kó fọmọ tiẹ̀ náà rú. Tó wá wo bó ṣe rí. Nígbà yà mọ̀ pé Nàìjíríà ti pín. Nínú ìgbà fẹ́ pé a wà lórílẹ̀-èdè. Ní ìlú táwa yìí. Àwọn kan ń gbádùn lórí ìjọba. Níbi tí constitution wọ́n yàtọ̀ sí ti Èkó, tẹ bá dé nọ́ọ̀tì, wọ́n ní ẹ lè gbébọn láwọn area kan, ṣe lè ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ Nàìjíríà, ẹ̀dẹ̀ ni wọ́n Nàìjíríà nìyẹn. Àwọn kan máa pààyàn fílì wá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀, ṣé wọ́n Nàìjíríà nìyẹn? Sà ẹ má jẹ́ parọ́ fún yín, ẹni tó bá sọ pé àní Ọlọ́run mọ tó ń ṣe, ó máa fi lè jẹ́ kórí àwọn èèyàn pé tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá ti jà fómìnira yín, kò síbi tẹ́lẹ̀, ebi máa pa ẹ̀yin olúwa androdolo Ọlọ́run ti parí iṣẹ́ wọ́n máa tọrọ ayé jáde ó lọ ẹ̀ka Genesis ni ó lọ́jọ́ kejì òun sì sinmi iṣẹ́ òun ló ti fẹ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ́n ní Ọlọ́run ló máa bá yín túnṣe kí ló lọ́ọ́ fẹ́ túnṣe orí ìbò pé ó ní pé mo fẹ́ kí àwọn èèyàn mi gbádùn ó dẹ̀ mú igi ó mú gbogbo ẹ̀ ó lókè jẹ́ kọ̀nà dà ẹ̀jọ̀ sọ́nà Ọlọ́run ló bá wọn ṣe sọ́nà ló bá wọn ṣe ẹ wá sọ pé kọ́nà wá sọ kalẹ̀ ẹ ń tọ́ra yín kó wá ṣe indomie àti rice fún yín kó wá gbé síwájú ebi máa pa yín dànù. Any question? Yorùbá nation máa wáyé tó bá yá ẹ má tọ́ra yín.
Ọlọ́pàá náà ti wá sí Nàìjíríà ń dàbí tó wà náà ní gbogbo sí.
Yàbínà kọfà sàkáàdì máa kàṣà màlẹ́kà yẹn ṣe báyìí kó má wà láyé màlẹ́kà yẹn ṣe báyìí. Ó ní rárá ó ní torí pé wọn ò tí padà lẹ́yìn ẹ̀. Àní Nàìjíríà máa kí látòkè òkun sẹ́ẹ̀. Nàìjíríà will be buy from abroad. Ẹ tí gbà mí.
Ọdún làwọn ọdún làwọn.
Mi ò tí wọ́n fún mi lọ́dún. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá béèrè lọ́wọ́ mi times 100. Ṣá ìjọ ẹ̀mí lélẹ́yìn.
This is a spiritual church.
Wọ́n fún mi ní ọdún. Ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run mọ tó ń ṣe. Ó máa sún ọkàn àwọn èèyàn yẹn lé ní fara. Àwọn èèyàn máa ojú àwọn èèyàn máa wá là. And now we want to come out of it. Torí àwọn kan sọ pé wọ́n Nàìjíríà. Ebi ò tí ì pa wọn ní ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀. God bless you.
Ṣeun adúpẹ́ o láti ẹ̀mí ṣàmì fún ọmọ.
Just take whatever you can take out of it, and that's all. My name is Alami Koiki. You might be asking, Koiki, okay, we like to support you. Every time you say we should support you, but you don't even explain how we're going to support. It is very easy. You can pray for me. You can ask my demands. My demands are not much. Just say, I'll give you 1 million naira. I'll give you 10,000 pounds. So you can go and add up to what you are doing. Our machine that we are using, it don't break. So we cannot use it anymore. This one is about almost 3 years now. It has served the purpose, but for whatever reason, I've done what needs to be done, but it has gone kaput. These are not cheap machines. It cost me, as at that time, almost 3,000 pounds to buy it. But today, that's why we are using phones. We can't do much more, but we can still do programs. So if you're still one of those that says, maybe I can afford 3,000 pounds, let me give you the 3,000 pounds. I'm sure some of you have it. Remember that man paid for his freedom. This is what we use to, fight for our freedom. I know I have the mobile phones, we're still doing the presentation. There's nothing wrong with it, but there's little we can do if we don't have a proper machine. But apart from that, we will still be here using our little resources. to remind you that terrorism will not be allowed in what is called the southwest of Nigeria. We expect all our governors, they are the chief security officer of the state, to make sure that they support our local farmers, hunters, Amotekun. Equip the police to fight these monsters. And whenever we say support Koiki Media, we make sure to specifically add it is voluntary donation. It is a media you are supporting. You are not supporting Koiki Media to say, no, that money is for Yoruba Nation. No, it is Koiki Media. I will then decide what and how I want to do. My wife just brought the newspaper to me, which you can see. And it says there, Metro reaches 5 million people every day. Do you want to give me a target for 2024? Koiki, we want you to reach 1 million people right inside Yoruba territory, then increase my support. You'll be surprised by this time next year, your people at home will be telling you that, who is Koiki Media? I will touch every 191 local government. I don't have to tell you how I'm going to do that. You just fund it and let's see. So this paper that you read in UK is produced Monday to Friday. It is free. And it is very thick paper. It's not like a Nigerian newspaper. It smells very nice. It's the same thing I use here. We use it for different things in the house. And as you can tell, what they do, they have different people that also sponsor it. How many of you are going to sponsor Koiki Media for the next 1 year, for the next 6 months, for the next 3 months, for the next 2 months? It is easy for you to say, Koiki, we love what you are doing. We are enjoying it. Yes, it is good, but it also needs support. And I'm not joking here now. We are being honest. If otherwise, we will continue to do the little that we have. We must support media to push the message. Thank you so much once again. We will be live on the backup channel, not on Koiki Media, for the Star Radio UK. Probably other platform will lock in as well. I have to go and set up now. So if you're waiting to watch the Star Radio UK later, make sure you follow the backup channel. We expect everybody to follow those channels, as we say. Subscribe to it. It doesn't cost you all anything. I don't know why people watch program. We have to beg you to like it, to share it. I don't normally want to say that. But my wife say, don't say that. Don't tell people not to share it. It will be like you are feeling too big. We are here to deliver the message. Your job is to take the message and drive it with it. Other media in Nigeria that are Nigerian media will not do what we are doing. We are not against them, but they will not do what we are doing. So you only have these kind of media that are ready, back to back. And like I always say, I am the last man standing. Thank you so much for joining the Breakfast Show. And we'll be joining at 11 o'clock on the Star Radio UK network. My name is Olami Koiki. Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Moki Bubu Alen Konsio. Bye for now. To all our Biafra, all hail Biafra. To the Northerners, all hail Arewa. To the Middle Belt, all hail Middle Belt. To all the indigenous people in Nigeria, as the time is very difficult, try to stay away from crime. I know it's going to be very difficult ahead, but stay away from crime. You can continue to beg. Don't get yourself in crime. It is not worth it. Thank you so much. Bye for now. Tẹ̀síwájú, sọ̀kọ̀ ire.